making this video is to help people understand how I go through the process of making an application. And this here is an example of one of the places I go to build out two components of my application. That would be features and my component tree. My component tree is what shows me every single file that will be inside my application. Also, it shows me, for me and how I build out mine, it shows me every view that I will have as well. Over here, you can see I write down bullet points of what each component does. I have home here saying this is going to display this, this is going to display this, and the user can type in here. This feature, that's what a feature is, something a user can do. A feature, this is where basically information starts. It starts with our user. And I want to show you another thing here. Well, let me just start with this. So I have here my component tree and I have my features listed out. It's very helpful to have all of those together. And the other thing that you actually can't see that I have up right now is a pen and paper. I use something called a boogie board. You can Google that to write down or to draw my wireframing. So I will actually physically draw out my wireframing. I will then type in what I'm drawing a wireframe for. So let's say you all should have this. I typed in index.js and then my app.js, and I'm going to use something called React Router DOM, the package. So all of my views are going to be going through router pretty much. And I'm going to make something called my home page. Okay, so I have my component tree, how this flows. My home page is going to, my users can see a hero image, they can see reviews on a carousel, and they can type in their email to sign up for a weekly newsletter. So this is showing me where that data is beginning. And on my wireframe, I have how I want this to look on my web page right here on right next to me. So I have three things pulled up at once, and how I go through a process is I go through each one of these components at a time. I'll draw up my store and then my checkout and then my purchases, and usually I'll rabbit hole through things and then I'll back up, go back up the tree and then start building it out. That's totally fine. If I was using pieces of paper like I used to, I would use multiple pages for each one of my views. So I'd use home would be its own page, store would be its own page, and so on. You can use Figma to plan your wireframing. I have here actually some suggestions, and just to kind of show you this process, right? You have features on the front end, which are again things that users do on your application, their interaction, what can they do? And that usually correlates with a feature on your server. So that data right there will flow directly usually to the server. Like, why am I typing down information into an email? Well, I want that email to be saved in my database model. So that feature's got to go through my server. Anyway, here are some examples of places you can write down features, wireframing items that you can use, component tree, um, database model websites to help you build out your database model. And here I have here something that you can review, asking you some questions. There's answers down below about what these are and what they're doing. Again, front end will do something, goes to the server. Server may update, delete, add, or just get information from the storage, and then goes back through the server and to the client or the user or the front end. Just wanted to review that process for you. I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you in the queue if you have any questions.